Today I want to teach you about the answers to the questions.
Cut. Sorry to stop you.
Take two.
Hi, I want to take a few minutes to tell you what it takes to make a good online class and what we're trying to accomplish through production, through lighting, through interactivity that you can use in your class to make your class the best it can be. The first point I want to make today is that we are on a set. We're not going to just set up a camera and video you in a classroom, set up a camera, video you sitting in your office. We're actually going to build a set on a location to make your class look as engaging as possible. For instance, there's stuff going on all over the place. We have multiple lights, we have microphones, we have cameras, we have people moving, checking cameras, checking audio. Lots of stuff happening on set. Number two, sets can be distracting. It's very important to stay focused on the camera. You're teaching directly to a student. No matter what the cameraman does, no matter what happens in the rest of the room, try to stay focused on your task of teaching and bringing the expert knowledge. Number three, teaching online has the capability of being more personal. You may feel like teaching online is you teaching to thousands, and it may be that. We want to capture more of the feel of if someone walked into your office, sat down across from you, and said, "Teach me what you know about this subject." We want it to be personal, engaging, and even candid at some times. With this in mind, there's a few points that I want to make that can help your class feel more engaging. Number four, leaning forward versus leaning back. When I lean forward, I feel engaged. I feel engaged in what I'm teaching, and you feel that I'm leaning into the conversation. When I sit back, I may be more relaxed and feel more comfortable, but I just don't have the same feel of being engaged in the conversation of what I'm teaching as when I lean forward. Number five, sitting versus standing. I know that for many of you, standing in front of a class is what's natural. Standing and teaching is what you're used to. But we want to try to capture that feel of the one-on-one engagement, of sitting at a desk, teaching someone a subject. As you can see, standing just doesn't have that same feel. I could walk around a little bit, but it just doesn't have the same touch as sitting and talking directly to the camera. That brings us to point number six, change clothes. We want the student to have the feel that time is passing, just like time is passing as they take the class. Also keep in mind that overdressing can be just as bad as underdressing. If you wouldn't wear a suit and tie to class every single day, don't wear a suit and tie to class for an online class. Wear something you're comfortable with, obviously something professional, but you don't have to overdo it. Likewise, underdressing is probably also not a good idea. Point number seven is hairstyles. It may seem obvious, but don't change your hairstyle, don't grow or shave a beard, or change your appearance too drastically during the shooting of your class. Try to stay somewhat consistent. Point number eight is my favorite. Think about interactivity. With digital technology, we have the ability to do all sorts of things. Your imagination is your limit. If you need to show a graph of a point graph on the bottom of the screen, we can handle that. If you need to show multiple points, it'll all show on screen. Perhaps an illustration of a story of a boy who crossed a desert looking for a flower. It just takes a little more thought on your part in pre-planning the course to what you need or what we can do. If you have an idea for something that we can do, just let me know. We would love to make this class the most amazing class possible. Point number nine is use notes, but don't use a script. If you don't use a script in class, you don't need a script for your online class. Perhaps in class, you use a PowerPoint as your notes to guide you through what you're wanting to teach. We can do the same here. There's multiple ways to use notes. We can use something digital, like an iPad, which we can provide. Paper is also acceptable. A laptop may be a little much. It just takes a little bit of pre-planning before you show up as to how you want to have your notes available. I can help you with whatever you need, getting your notes onto PowerPoints, getting PowerPoints onto an iPad, getting PowerPoints printed out on paper. Whatever you need, let me know. It's what pre-production is for. That brings us to number 10. You don't have to be perfect. Just like teaching a class in person, you're not perfect. You stumble, you misspeak, you correct yourself. All those things make you sound real and make you sound personable. It's okay. With that in mind, also if you mess up, dang it. We can cut that part out and keep going without having to worry about it. With that in mind, also if you mess up, we can cut that part out and keep going without having to worry about it. Number 11, leave out the page numbers. Many of you teach from textbooks, you teach from workbooks, you have specific books and page numbers and readings that you assign. There's 3 types of videos that we're going to use for our online education. One is a lecture video, kind of what this is. The lecture video is the content of what you're teaching that week. The second video is an advanced planner. The advanced planner is a shorter video that comes at the beginning of the week, can have all the details in it, like a 4-page paper, double space, Times New Roman, chapter 4, page 127, all those details can be in there. The third type of video is a guided learning, which usually comes after a lecture just to engage your student in some sort of self-evaluation or thought or quiz. It's an ungraded portion of the class, but gives a little more interactivity and back and forth to the class. With all this, the main idea is so that your lectures contain as little specific content as possible. They're teaching. It's content about the course, not content about a workbook or content specific to a page number or a chapter. That way that lecture can last longer online without having to be reshot. Even if the class or the textbook is revised and page numbers change, we will just have to change the small advanced planner videos and not the body of the lecture videos. Number 12, take direction. Sometimes you're lecturing, you're teaching, and you have a great idea like, I'm gonna sing a song!
Cut. Sorry to stop you. Could we try that one more time without the singing this time?
Don't tell me how to teach my class! All right, I'll try that. Sometimes you have a great idea like singing a song, but maybe it's not a good idea, and I give you a little direction. Please know I'm not trying to teach your class for you. I know that you are the expert of your content. I just know what looks good and what comes across the camera well to a student. That brings us to the final point, and that is you are the expert. I understand that you know what you're teaching. I make no claims to know your content or the best way to teach, but I'm here to help you communicate to the student, help augment your teaching method, your amazing skills to make them translate across the camera and across the internet in the best way possible. Thanks for watching. I look forward to shooting your classes.